your inconsistency queen is back. Okay, fine. I am not the inconsistency queen. I was consistent for a while and then life happened. Anyway, speaking of life happening, today's video is going to be about the GPPs. What are GPPs, you ask? Goals, plans, and prayers that I had for 2020, and just a review of how the year was and how these GPPs came to life. Were we disappointed? Did we follow through? And I call them GPPs because I do believe that prayer is important. That my life is centered around God. So basically, I pray about everything, and there are some things that I do not ever want to do by myself. So I do want God to be in the middle of all of it. And so GPP, prayer, goal, plan, prayer. The next one is a goal. A goal is that it has to be tangible. See, God gave us the gift of choice. So I have to decide that, okay, what do I want to see? Like, what will this exactly look like? Not just, okay, I wish I had money, but what amount? Like, what am I talking about? And a lot of these things I actually learned this year. And then plan, because I have to be able to make strategies of how I will get to see that which I desire to see. Anyway, let's get right into the video. So the GPPs, I had 5 GPPs for the year, which included 1, faithfulness; 2, fruitful; 3, freedom; 4, family; 5, focus. So I'm just gonna read a little bit of what I wrote in January. Prayer, be faithful. Faithful to God, faithful to always make it to our appointments, which include 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. on weekdays and Sunday service. Faithful to follow every instruction from God immediately. I think this was around the time I heard for the first time someone say that late obedience is disobedience. So I really wanted, and I had a tendency of waiting. Like, I would feel like this is what God was telling me to do, but like I would take my time, procrastinate, do this, and so basically procrastination is a sin. I was slapped, and I still get slapped every once in a while with that, but it has really helped me in my discipline game, as we're going to be talking about in the next couple minutes. Faithful to studying and living the word. Faithful to people, be a person of integrity. I want to be one whose word can be counted on. Faithful in my, we'll see how that turned out. Faithful in my future relationship, from dating to marriage forever. Well. Faithful to my audience, and that was just basically, I'm going to be talking about it next. Faithful to myself, be able to plan on a daily basis and follow through the plan, which is something I had struggled with for years. I've been trying to plan. I've had a journal since 2012, and then and so it has been a constant trial in my life to just try and error of trying to like plan through the day, plan through the week, plan through the month, but it would never happen. And I was finally starting to see a glimpse of it in 2019, that I was starting to see like myself planning things and them actually happening. But I wanted 2020 to be the year where I can actually say, I will study this and finish it, I will do this and this and this, and it will be done like in a day. And wait for it. Number 2 was be fruitful. So the prayer was, in the work of my hands, brain, and mouth, get straight A's in school. Well, that didn't happen yet. Study daily, discuss, attend class, just basically be a good student, because I was trash. Post a vlog every week and a sit-down video. So that we'll see, because we'll do a monthly review of the highs and the peaks, and I got this from Kardashians, just so you know, the peaks and pits of every month. I think I did this for 2019, and so basically I'm doing this for 2020, and in it we'll see how these things happened, either for a certain season, for a while, or didn't happen. Start a podcast, which I wasn't able to, but this is we'll talk about it. But thing is, 2021. By the way, next week the video for my 2021 GPPs will be out for me to share with the world so that I can be accountable to myself and to y'all. I don't know how I'm going to be doing this. Anyway, yeah, so that's a plan. That's definitely a plan. Start a podcast. And so I had numbers for what I want for my YouTube channel and my IG. I'm not gonna share because I live in the clouds, and I like my faith, and your comments might make me lessen my faith, and I like it. So I'm not gonna tell you guys the numbers, but wow. Anyway, getting a relationship with soulmate. So this is another fruit. I believe a relationship is a fruit rather than whatever else people say. I think it's a fruit. Like, it's a fruit of life. Like, you being able to be in a healthy relationship means there's a character that you're prepared for that allows you to be in a good, healthy relationship. So baby girl thought she was ready. We'll see how ready she was. Plus a pandemic happening, so anyway, another was travel. I had 4 destinations in mind. A whole pandemic. Be free was the third one. Just basically, that is, be content with where I am as I await the next season. To be fully happy with my life and stay expectant of the answer to my prayers. Financially, okay, I stated some financial goals. And then free of moods. Don't let moods determine how I treat people. So, okay, I'm just going to talk about this one particularly right now because I feel like it has been a 50-50 situation where before a lot of my moods were because of my situation. Like, for example, I would get into a bus and then get mad about being in the bus because I don't like public transport. But then for like the next hour, I would still be like in a phase just because of that. I would wake up and realize like I have these needs for this week and I don't have the money enough for the needs of that week or for the month. Like, a lot of my moods were because, I would realize that, okay, tomorrow I'll have to go to school at this time and do this and this and this, and just, there are a lot of circumstances in my life that would make me have a bad attitude, and I would still fight it, but I wanted to come into a place where it's not a constant struggle of me fighting my circumstances and staying happy regardless. And so I would just like to say, this is the year where I just didn't care. There was a time in my life where if I had these for more than 2 weeks, I would start getting bad moods. Or just get in a daze. Like, I would be just living my best life and then realize, I don't have cornrows, or I don't have, like, I love braids. I love long braids, colored braids. And so that's something that I really love, but sometimes I don't have the money for it. And so I'm like, I would get in a really bad mood, and it would sometimes, now if you catch me, if any of my family members would catch me in those moods, then would end up in a brush off. I wouldn't call it a big, or sometimes it would be a big argument, but I knew that the reason I was in that bad mood was because of what I'd been thinking about concerning my circumstances. The pandemic happened, and a lot of people couldn't go get their hair done. A lot of people couldn't go get their nails done. It was no longer whether you have the money for it or not. It was, you either have the ability to learn through tutorials and do it, which, by the way, I am not the kind of girl who will sit on a Saturday night and decide to paint her nails because that's fun. No, not even the pandemic made me want to do my own nails or do my own hair. I don't enjoy it. I like people doing stuff for me. I enjoy it. The only thing I enjoy doing by myself is writing my own songs. So there's that. Anyway, the reason I'm saying 50-50 is that I still haven't become the fullness of what I like, which I want to be a kind person, which I am. It doesn't always come out that way. Maybe it's at this point I don't even know if what I see in my head can even happen for me. I want to be able to nicely tell a person, leave me alone. I don't know how to say that nicely, so usually it ends up with a lot of silence and a lot of when I say like, my family knows the different things I say, which just kind of means like I'm in a phase. I'm either thinking of something, or I'm watching something, or I'm studying. But I have yet to learn how to do it perfectly, like a nice attitude, which won't leave a person scarred. Cause like later in conversation they'll be like, "Hey, simkali bana," but like I don't know if that will ever change. It's not my favorite thing about myself. I don't like being strict unless I need to, but I don't like being strict. So we'll see if that ever comes. But yes, I'm so glad that now it doesn't come from a place of like I'm miserable about a certain circumstance. That's why I'm being moody. Now it's just more, I'm just a silent person. There's a very silent side of me that doesn't know what to say when I don't need to say something. So it's more like that. Anyway, spent a while there. It was a very big thing in my life. Hopefully, as I say this, it gives you motivation. If you're the kind of person who lets circumstances determine your moods or your attitude towards people, how you treat the people you love, or the people you don't love. For me, it wasn't how I treat strangers. It was mostly how I treat the people that I love the most. It was almost taking them for, which brings me to my next thing, which is family. It was more of like I took my family for granted because like, okay, I know if no matter what I answer my sister, okay, not no matter what, but more like with my family, because we're very close, I can be myself. Like I don't have to, when I'm with strangers or when I'm in public spaces, I literally overthink how to be the most kind person, because I understand everyone is fighting their own struggle. So I really try to be kind. So it is almost, for some people it's natural. For me, tailoring, treat other people how you want to be treated, treating them how they want to be treated, because for me anything goes. So you can treat me anyhow. I know how to stand up for myself, but some people can't. So knowing how to do that, how to treat people the way they deserve to be treated, to see every person the way they deserve. So with other people, I am probably the nicest. I cannot use that word. I cannot use nice and myself in one sentence. I'm yet to get there. Which brings me to family focused. I have learned how much my family loves and treasures me, and so I definitely want to spend more time with my family, but at the same time I don't want to set too high expectations. So not too high expectations, which is what I was talking about. Like I don't want to completely change who I am to become everybody's cup of tea. You know what I mean? Like I want there to remain who God created me to be, not to become this people pleaser that has now become a person that does everything for everybody else. Like my center still has to be, God, who do you want me to be at this time? Like what do you want me to be? Should I be having this conversation right now, or should I be telling them, I'm sorry, I cannot do this right now, I cannot talk to you right now, I cannot do this right now? So that's my goal. That's why I was like, I'm not setting too high expectations of, oh, now I'm just gonna live every single day to just, for my mother or for my sister. Like I cannot live for anybody else. I have to live for Jesus, and when I do that, it comes overflows, and I can love people, and I can be helpful, and I can be wise, and just be the best version of myself. Last one was focus, which that last one I got from a meeting that I attended in a meeting that I attended in church, a ladies meeting, the first meeting, which was basically just a sermon of explaining how you can have a goal. When you have a goal, go towards it with all that you've got. Don't be distracted on the way. Don't get don't get distracted. Like focus no matter what happens. Like it was the story, if ladies, if you're watching this, then you remember, make no idol, life is within him. And so it was just a reminder, and it was really a helpful message, because for me 2018 was a year where 2019 was a year where a lot of stuff kept happening, and it would distract me from like the goal. And so this was a year where I just didn't want to be distracted by what was going on around me, or by social media, or just by anything, and focus on what is my goal for this year, or focus on what I'm doing at that particular moment. I just wanted to focus, like whatever I'm doing, I wanted to give it my all. And baby girl. So I also have this thing I call unnecessary miracles, which basically is things that I want so much, but like I wouldn't die without, you know, like I can live without, but I really want them. And because God is my father, I tell him everything, so I might as well tell him what's in my heart, even though he knows. But he gave us room. Pray for anything, and in the name of Jesus, and it will be done to you, so your joy may be full. But because he's a good father, I know that just because I want this stuff, he won't give it to me if I'm not ready for it, because you know, he's a good father. He gives it to me at the time when I need it. But one thing that I'm going to do is pray and believe him for it for as long as it takes. So I call these unnecessary miracles. For example, I wanted to move out into my own apartment. I'm a college student. I live at home. It's a little far from home, but also I really wanted to live alone. Like I really want to live alone. So as you can see, I'm still living at home. A lot of things have changed. Like a lot of the things that I thought I needed to go to my own apartment to do, I ended up with something that I really wanted. But it didn't happen. But I'm still grateful, and I'm still believing for it, and you know, working towards it too, because the necessary miracle was I really wanted to go to driving school. I really wanted to know how to drive. It just didn't make sense to me that I don't know how to drive at 22. It did not. So I really wanted to learn, because my mom was not open to teaching me. So that was the only option I had, but again, an option that couldn't happen. So moving on, I think I had a couple stuff. Oh, instruments. I had particular tools that I asked God for for making content. I need a new phone. My phone is broken. Didn't happen. I need a new laptop for school and for editing. Didn't happen. What else did I need? I wrote them down, but I can't find them. Anyway, okay, and a couple of other stuff that I'm just not gonna mention in this video. Why am I talking about things that didn't happen? Because they're just a reminder that you could believe God for something and it still wouldn't happen. And at this point of my life, I'm believing God for something like a new phone, because this one is broken and I love making content, and it's the only thing I have to make content with, and it's broke, and the camera is broken. So, you know, I really need a new phone, and I can't afford it. And if I don't have the faith to believe God for a new phone, how am I going to have the faith to start a company even when I don't feel like I am completely ready for it? I plan to, there's so many things that I plan to do in my life. There's a vision that I have for my life. And I know that taking off or doing these things will need a lot of my faith, will need me to believe in God, it will need me to believe in myself. I believe that me believing for these small things is just my faith being what is that? Being worked out. I have this joke in my IG stories where I wake up every day and I'm always like, done with my spiritual workout. I believe that believing for things and praying for things, no matter how crazy they may seem, no matter how out of scope they may seem, is a way of exercising your faith. You're putting your faith because faith without works is dead. He will come through in the way that he wants to get the glory, whether it is because I saved all the way to make enough money to do it, whether it's because I saved 10% and then he brought somebody to bring the 90%. He works in mysterious ways, but what I will not do is sit down with my need and be too afraid to pray for it, because, well, why would I pray for something I know that I am not well equipped for? I don't know if I can manage a house, but I'm going to pray for it, because then he'll give me the ability to manage a house. So yeah, as we're going into 2021, baby girl, homie, brother, have faith to believe God for things beyond your imagination, because he can do exceedingly abundantly above all you could ever think for or imagine, according to the power that is at work within you. More than we ask, think, or imagine, according to his power working in us. Gyra by Maverick. I was gonna say by Chandler. Maverick. That is, yeah, technically Chandler and Naomi Rain from Maverick. And Elevation, new song. I've been obsessed with it. Anyway, those literally Elevation Worship, Elevation Church, Maverick City have been the best gift of 2020. Like, starting off with January, the peak of January was literally just fasting for 21 days. It was a beautiful time. I would have beautiful prayer sessions, just beautiful experiences with God, beautiful revelation, learning the word, just beautiful time. Pete was going to school to study every morning. Like, I live far from school, so there was this schedule that I had that was really not working for me, and I just really needed an alternative schedule, which got so my heart. And right now the schedule that I have really works for me and makes me so happy, as alternative to like going to school very early. My prayer time was being cut short in the middle of the day. In the midst of fasting, I would have to like find a corner of the building to go pray in. It was just a hustle. So I thank God that I finally found a schedule that worked for me and that didn't get in the way of either just personal stuff that I do for fun, like dance. Tried vlogging, wasn't able to, because between fasting and school, out of school, preparing for finals, it was just hard. Peak of February, getting my TFC subscription. Wrong choice, but I surely enjoyed it. Sometimes you just gotta make bad decisions and then live with the consequences, but then have a good time. I had my, if you're a fan of love stories or drama or just beautiful sentiments, clean love stories, like Filipinos are your people. Also did my finals for my second semester of my second year, and then also the pit of February was just a lot of stuff that was happening, family stuff that I can't really get into details for, but there was intense warfare. There was just, I think I had my first spiritual burnout, if it can even be called that. Like, I had been through so much like prayers that were warfare. And listen, I pray a lot, but I don't get into warfare a lot. Like I do, because that's a whole other video. But point is, I went through a time of just intense warfare where I was like, God, I can't do this anymore. Just come through or do something. But this is not how me and you work. There has to be something better. And I think I found a new place of prayer, if it can even be called that. Like, there's a fresh way to fight, new strategy. I don't know how to call it, but yeah, it was born out of that. But also saw just a very huge chunk of my family get born again, and there was just this pastor that got connected with our family. So a lot of my cousins gave their life to Christ, and a lot of them have matured into a lifestyle that that's something that I've seen. A lot of my cousins have matured. Let me say some, because like it's a 50-50, because some of my cousins have just really matured spiritually. It's just beautiful to watch. It brings tears to my eyes sometimes when I think about it. And there's still a lot that have that are still getting towards that maturity, but I got to witness them claim Jesus Christ as their Lord. Confess that was the word I was looking at. Confess Jesus Christ as the Lord and Savior of their life. And I know that God is working in them, and that with everybody it's different. There are people who have to break through more addictions. There are people that have to break through so much more chains than others, and everybody's journey is different. And just getting to see both sides, for people that it has taken a while, but they've finally come into a place of maturity and authority and identity of who they are in Christ. It's beautiful to watch. And people who are still progressing, and I know that I'll get to see them also walk in the authority that they were called to walk in life. Anyway, brings me to March. Lady Rona arrived, and I've talked about this in my videos before, that while it was a bad thing and it was a horrible pandemic, but at the same time, I have yet to listen to this sermon in full, but I really want to listen to it. Pastor Stephen Furtick was talking about this was the year of the Lord's favor, and I can truly agree with that even in the middle of everything that was happening, I got the longest break that I have gotten through since I started. Guys, just imagine going through college and not having long breaks. Like I would have 1 week holidays, 1 week, 10 days. It was never 1 month, 3 months. For who? For where? Because our course that was supposed to be 4 years, I take business administration, has been shortened to 3 years and only 1 3-hour session every single day. And then my nephew was born. One of the greatest experiences of my life. I'll talk about that. That was more of April though, because he was born the end of March. Also got into TikTok, was going crazy on TikTok. And then now it's kind of dead. But 2021, we're going strong. I'm coming back. All of the dances, all of the fashion tips, coming back strong. But also, I've been doing this after January. One of the plans that I had for the year was just to fast 3 days of every in every month, fast for 3 days. And so I was able to do that, and it was just a joy. It was amazing. It was. There's a vision. I'd always had an idea of what I wanted to do in my life, with where I was going, but slowly, and come March is when I started to first really see, like, okay, I know I want to be a businesswoman, but also I don't know how to be a businesswoman. So God just gave me a clear vision of the things that I will do as a businesswoman to like become the businesswoman that I see in my head, the actual strategies, the actual, no, with business it's not even strategies, it's the actual goals, because I couldn't put it into tangibility. Like every time somebody would talk about business, I would see like how I am a businesswoman, but I couldn't see, okay, what business though, what is it I'm supposed to do? So I got clarity for that, the goals, and I'm still coming up as the year has gone by. Now coming up with strategies, learning what is business, how do I make money, how do I do sales, like what lines of business do I get into? But even with fashion, like, okay, yes, I do love style, but okay, why do I have this burning desire? Like, why do I see style? Before I see anything in a person, guys, I see style. I see style, or the lack thereof it. So there is that. Just I wanted to know, okay, but why? Is it just so that I can like dress and look good, or dress and look weird? Because the way I dress and the culture I was born in, for the most part, I just always look weird. So it's fine, it's cool, but it was okay. So what do I do with it? But to have an actual goal of, okay, so this is why I have this in my heart, this is the goal, or this is the vision of what it will become. It was just guys, the goal, fashion, with movies, with music, just clear goals. And as time progressed, every single month, more clear plans, strategies, 1+1s, because before you ever get to 1,000 times 200, you learn 1+1. So a lot of this year has been a lot of 1+1s, 3+2, 4+7. I don't know if that's a good metaphor, but now coming to April, this was the month, guys. This was the month for me. I don't think I struggled, maybe because when I talked about be faithful, I talked about the plans, but there's another part of my journal where I talked about, here's what I prayed for. I said, Father, thank you for the measure of faith that will allow me to walk and live in righteousness, and build me up even further, so that regardless of what tests and trials, I'm able to have the same stable faith, unshakable trust, that no matter what, I stay faithful to who you are, Lord, and who I am in you. Guys, I prayed that in January. When I tell you, throughout the corona period, I didn't get anxious. Like, it wasn't of course, because I'm human, I still sanitized, I still wanted people to stay safe, I still prayed for my mom as she went to work every day and came into interactions with people, that she would stay safe and stuff like that. But she was a lot more stressed than I was. Like, everybody, lucky, I think everybody was more stressed than I was. I was more like, yo, it's time to make vids, yeah, I have time to make content now, and stuff like that. Even when I didn't have like the best ideas to make content, I just needed to make content. Like, I just needed content to come out of me either way. And so yeah, I was just making content. I just knew that God will cover us, like regardless that it will end. And and lo and behold comes, oh, also, ooh, before I come to the end of that season for us, eating. So we got to live with my nephew. I got to see firsthand how having a baby is the most beautiful thing, but also the biggest calling, because it takes emotional, physical, it takes all of you. And I already knew that just from like observing my friends who had babies and observing my friends who had families, that having a family is a whole different responsibility, and just it's a heavy responsibility that I lucky thought I wasn't ready for. But 2020 was more there's a joke in my family where we say Aaron traumatized me into not wanting children anytime soon, because he's enough. Actually, he's my baby. That getting to see firsthand how having a baby is a whole process, it just makes you want to take your purity more seriously, to take your waiting more seriously, to take even like just generally for me, I always thought I want to have kids late, but now it's actually a prayer that I will have kids when I'm 30. God willing, that's it for me. But yeah, I already talked about that I think in another video. But also just I know when I do, it's gonna be amazing, guys. Kids are amazing. I can't wait, but I can wait. Elevation Church, big blessing. Already talked about this. Before my pastor ever started live streams, at my church actually started live streaming, Elevation was my church. Still is. I still listen to some of the sermons, but during the lockdown is when I would actually start the service from the beginning to the end, and it was just a beautiful time. Elevation worship, just God bless, God bless. And my favorite part of April, eating. I ate. We had somebody helping us and then my whole family was here. Like, guys, I don't know. When I look back on lockdown, yes, there were a few moments of I had to adjust a few things in my life, but really, it was a beautiful time for me. The days that we spent as a family, the days that how much I ate like 5 times a day. If you follow me on the IG, you know that. I need to stop saying that. This is like the 5th time I'm saying that. That's annoying. But it was just awesome. Okay, come the end of May, lockdown was over for us. We officially, economic activities resumed as they were supposed to resume on the 1st of June. Universities opened. We were the samples. Like before secondary schools and kids, kindergarten and primary school kids went back, we were the sample. So literally he was saying like if y'all gonna get sick, it's the college kids. Y'all gonna get sick first. Because with private institutions, they didn't have to follow anything, so they didn't have to go back to work, because especially with the international organization, I think there's so many that are still working from home until to date. But with us, school resumed, so we're all going back to school, masks and all that. But at this point, there was a time during May that he called for a 3-day fast, just to prayer and fasting. If you can fast, then we fasted. I remember I fasted for I just finished my fast and then I got into that. So I think I fasted for 2 days, and then the last day I didn't, something like that. But I remember not fasting for all of the days, but throughout those days, praying for our nation, just praying for the world at large, just for everything to stop. Because the truth is, the pandemic, while it may have not affected, while we have, yes, gotten to a point where we've literally forgotten what Corona was, but of course we're being affected. And this is a small thing. Movies. I've not gone to the theater for a long time, because my motivation to go to the theater is Marvel movies coming out. But Black Widow, where ya? All the rest that were supposed to come out this year, where ya? There are all these intertwined, and so many things are intertwined. So, yeah, while I was praying for our nation, I was praying for other nations too, and just, humans were dying, so that's not a good thing. But generally, we prayed, and then after that, there was also this conspiracy going on. Our president got the lab people to try, okay, this is a reminder for those of you that know this and have forgotten. Remember the mapapai, nambuzi, wana corona. So yeah, our president got the lab people to try the tests on papayas, on goats, and it would actually read positive for all of them. So there was a conspiracy going on there. So anywho, and they're like, even with the, it was a whole conspiracy, guys. But low-key, eventually, everyone stopped. Okay, this coming to June, going back to school, and this time I was so determined because even throughout the corona season, I was just trying to maintain my schedule. I would still get up in the morning, bathe, get dressed. Some days even put on makeup, some days do my hair, like just stuff like that. So I was very determined that when I go back to school this time around, I'm going to be able to to make content and still do well in my studies and just have that balance where I'm doing everything that I love and thriving at it all. And let me tell you, June, July, August, we did that, and our grades were still good. I have a 4 point something GPA. It was a good season. So for me to have a good GPA and to have a good and to do what I love, it was just for me the rehearsal that I need in life, that eventually, even if I end up somehow, oh God, end up in a corporate job, I would still be able to do that and do what I love the most. Though the prayer is that I get to do what I love full time and get paid from it and just, you know, not have to go for the 9 to 5. But eventually, even if I do end up there, that was the season where I was teaching myself that you can balance both. You can give your all to both and thrive at best, because the energy is within me. I'm young and strong, and what else am I doing with the energy? Watching K-drama? Well, yeah, but even that. Oh, speaking of that, my sister got engaged, and then August, so there was this whole preparation for the whole party, and then September was when the wedding is going to be. So there was a lot of preparation and planning around. I think my whole of September was just preparing for her wedding. It was just one of the most beautiful times. I remember the day she was getting married, like I was teary-eyed all day. I was just like, oh my God, because my sister is the person that I've known the longest, apart from my mom. Just I've seen her, okay, for immediately after I grew up, I started seeing her. So like, she's the person that I've known my whole life. And to have known her throughout this journey and to watch her step into this new journey, to watch her moving out of the house officially, like, it was just, wow. It's been a year, guys. If I talk about it too long, I might end up crying because, yeah, God's been good. Yeah, but also, these were the months where I learned how to thrive in discipline. And let me tell you, discipline makes life easier. I had time to make content, I had time to study and prepare for my finals and watch New Girl and watch a bunch of shows that before I wouldn't make content because I would procrastinate. And then school would get tough because I procrastinated. And then I wouldn't even have time to watch the shows because now all I'm doing is studying, and then I can't make content, I can't watch what I love, I can't do what I love. It was just, I barely have time for my family. But I had time for my family, watching movies, making content, and just, it's not the best thing, but let me tell you, in this life, even the richest of the richest are looking for happiness. And for me, that's the gift that 2020 gave me. Full, productive happiness, where the circumstances are not perfect and everything is not working out together, but everything is working out together. You feel me? Yeah, so if you take anything from all that blah, 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 is discipline. Master discipline. Pray for discipline. Put discipline into effect. Because, listen, and I say this a lot, I think one of the things that really helped was those 3 days of fasting every single month. There is a way that stopping yourself from doing something that you love, like food for me, and putting all of that instead in growing up spiritually, it's power. That's called power. Because I don't do with some people when they do for me, I don't do the 21 days of fasting and prayer. Some people do go vegan and just eat the vegetables and, you know, water and juices. For me, I don't eat throughout the day, and then at the end of the day when I do eat, I still don't eat the bread and whatever, like, if that makes any sense. And for the 3 days, I wouldn't do the vegetarian and wait for like to eat a vegetarian meal at night. I just wouldn't eat all day. I would miss my breakfast and miss my lunch and spend that time studying the word and praying, and drink water throughout the day, maybe water and tea, and then at the end of the day eat something. And for me to put that aside, because that's, and social media, and putting social media away. And so for me to be able to take back from all these things that I do every single day and I love, and to put all that work into just spending time with God, the returns are great. come October was my birthday, and it was at the end after the send off and the kitchen party and the wedding. Baby girl was tired, and I was just like, I am not doing anything this year. If I had someone to plan for me every single thing, I would probably still do something, because I love my birthdays, and my dream is to be able to do the biggest parties. Like, yeah, I'm that girl that would turn my birthday into a whole gala eventually. But it's all or nothing. So either I go all out or I just chill at home. And I decided to chill at home. But even in that, won't he do it? I got this newfound, because I kept praying to God that I wanted this year to be, my 23rd year to be a year where I become financially strong. But it wasn't just, I didn't want to always tell God, like, I don't want money just to have money. I want freedom. And so I started learning, I started saving, first of all, which is something that I always say I can't do because I don't have enough to save. But even with my little allowance, I was able to save, and I'm still saving to date. It has been one of the most rewarding things, just to know that, oh homie, it's not just discipline to do the right things, but also it is the discipline to be able to save money. And anybody who's successful in any way will tell you that you just need to be able to save. Imagine the pandemic happened. What happened to the people that, lost their jobs and then they didn't have any savings? That's what made the year so tough. Like, just losing a job and then not having a trust, and then losing some sources of income. So you need multiple sources of income. All that to say, I got into starting to learn finances, to start speaking the financial lingo, because you can't want to be wealthy and you can't even speak money lingo. So, I started learning money lingo from class. We had courses. Oh, we had a course on finance, which I loved. It was a hard course. The semester was hard on some people. The lecture was hard on some people. Some people hated him. I was just like, whatever, because he uses sarcasm as, I don't know, a sense of humor, which I understand sarcasm. I thrive on sarcasm. So it didn't affect me that much. Like, people would say, like, people would just assume the worst, and he really is challenged. The exam he brought was challenged, but still, whatever. I thrived. I got the finance knowledge that I needed, and now I'm learning more even from YouTube. The Break platform are great if you want to look into finances, but also Investing with Rose is great, and a bunch of other channels that I am still watching, also for like financial language, but I watch not language knowledge, but I watch it more for entertainment. It's just a huge form of entertainment for me, and then every once in a while I get entertainment and motivation. Most of the stuff that they talk about I already do, so I know I'm on a good path to like getting to where I'm going. But ALAX, check out ALAX, but be strong, be sober minded, especially if you're a believer, or if you have any insecurities about your financial stuff, that might not be the channel for you. If you're sober minded, you are strong-willed, and you know what you believe in spiritually, you know what you believe in your financial goals, then go ahead and get entertained by the channel. But if you don't know what you're doing, you could be confused, or just your feelings will be hurt. Guaranteed. But I love it. I thrive. It has been the best for me. I actually got really into it this December. November was a month of no. I had to learn how to say no to some stuff. I had to learn of how to respect my time and respect what God is doing in my season, because I had an instance where I said yes to a project, but I had to balance between school and that project. And then that project got pushed forward, and then I had to either choose to do the project at the time that I wasn't planning it, or being well prepared on the school side. And I had to learn to drop some stuff. There are events, hangouts, and just stuff that kept happening that I wanted to be a part of, but I'll keep knowing in my heart that this is not the season for that. Like, at this point of time, I need to prioritize this. As I say, the financial knowledge that I've learned in the last 3 months are really the setup that I will need to literally live the rest of my life. And so I had to take it seriously. Learning stuff about tax. Yes, getting an A in tax will not be a guarantee of like making it in life, but that basic foundation knowledge that I've gotten now, which has now stuck into my brain, the next time I meet a financial advisor or I meet a tax person, like when they're speaking, I don't see them, because I tried to do all this stuff when I was 16 and trying to listen to this stuff, and a lot of it sounded like I couldn't understand, because there is a language for every industry, there's a language for every level, and I couldn't speak that language, and you need to learn. And so these were months where I needed to prioritize just my studies because of what it meant for my path in life, and I needed to prioritize just other things that I was learning in my free time. And so yeah, learning to say no and learning to prioritize, it was hard, but it was doable. Same with the beginning of December, which was mostly finals. Couldn't do Vlogmas, which I really wanted to do this year, but ended up doing Story Mass, which was also kapeng. So yeah, I'll have highlights in my IG, and so I am excited for 2021. Was it a faithful year? Yes, we went from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. to 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. For my mental health, for my personality, for my walk in life, that's what I need. That's how much time I need. That's what has allowed my year to be perfect. I don't know. Actually, I know what is waiting for me in 2021, and it is goodness, it is favor, it is thriving, it is power, it is a name. But was I fruitful this year? Yes, because I managed to make so much. I made more content this year in those months that I was consistent than I've made for the last 2 years. For me, that is something. Hopefully not hopefully, we are doing it. Next year, so much content. Next year, so much more to come. But was I faithful? Yes. Was I free? Yes. Did I spend a lot of time with my family? Yes. Was I focused? Yes and yes and yes. So make plans for your year. Pray about your year and do what you need to do, because Rome wasn't built in one day. I don't know what goals you have in your life ultimately, or what you want out of life, but whatever it is, it's not gonna happen in one day. You need to learn how to sit down, hear his voice, follow through that voice, and work hard. And that's what I was learning this year, just working hard and prioritizing. I hope this has been helpful. I hope that it motivates you. If you made it to the end of this video, God bless you. That's it for this video. Like, subscribe please, and hit the notification button. I always feel guilty about this because I don't have my notifications on, but that's because I live on YouTube, so I see I see it when all my favorite people upload. But if YouTube is not where you dwell or where you stay at, and you like to watch videos when they come out, please hit that notification button, ding, and you'll be notified every time that I upload. Follow me on my social media, on Twitter, on IG. Oh, that's another one. This was a good Twitter year, and a sad one, and a grieving one, but that's the best part about Twitter. Happiest place, dumbest place, annoying place, grieving place, but it's all good in the land of the living. TikTok too, we'll be back. And yeah, goodbye. I love you all.